Vegan for lasting peace.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
The 10 Dharma worlds are the body and mind, in the sphere of the originally pure Dharma. Not being ignorant is called the precept of refraining from using intoxicants. Please keep watching to find out more.
Assalamu alaikum means peace be upon you in Urdu, one of the official languages of Pakistan. I am Ilaf. The hospitable people of Pakistan are inspired by your loving regard for our animal friends and pray that we all may cherish their precious lives. Illicit drug usage remains a major problem in our society. Factors contributing to drug use are varied, but the effect is the same. Drugs not only harm the person using them, they also affect that person's husband or wife, children, other family, and friends. According to the United Nations 2020 World Drug Report, about 269 million people were using drugs in 2018, which is 30% more than in 2009. Additionally, over 35 million people suffer from drug use disorders. To address this global problem, the United Nations General Assembly has declared June 26th as International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking. Each year, communities and organizations around the world work together to raise awareness about the harm of illicit drugs. The goal of these annual events is a worldwide drug-free society. Supreme Master Ching Hai has also conveyed her deep concern about the detrimental effects of drug use. During a 1999 lecture in Cape Town, South Africa, she spoke of the heartbreaking consequences to both the drug user and their loved ones.
It affects everything. It makes your mind blurred, it shrinks your brain, it clogs your nerves, it makes you hallucinate, it makes you go crazy when you don't have it and become addicted to it. It breaks your family, love, relationship. It drives your girlfriend, boyfriend away. It makes you become a criminal sometimes. How do you have peace in this chaotic state of mind in order to practice spiritually even? You have to be first calm and normal. We have enough confusion with work, with war, with disaster, with relationship already. Do not create more confusion for yourselves and damage your only vehicle to reach God. This is the body, the temple. Keep it well in order, healthy, because you must use it, okay? Drug is no, 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 no.
These wise and compassionate insights from Supreme Master Ching Hai are reaffirmed in the teachings of many other spiritual disciplines. In recognition of the International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking, we will share excerpts from religious scriptures that highlight the harmfulness of intoxicants, both to ourselves and our loved ones. In the 5 precepts that serve as basic guidelines for wholesome living the Lord Buddha included illicit drugs. 1. No killing, cherish all life. 2. No stealing, respect others' property. 3. No sexual misconduct, honor our own pure nature. 4. No lying, live honestly. 5. No intoxicants, maintain a clear mind. The fifth precept of no intoxicants is a clear directive to abstain from substances that cloud our awareness and wisdom. Venerable Patriarch Bodhidharma also said,
"The 10 Dharma worlds are the body and mind. In the sphere of the originally pure Dharma, not being ignorant is called the precept of refraining from using intoxicants."
Aiken Roshi, a Zen teacher of the Harada Yasutani lineage, said,
Not giving rise to delusions is called not giving or taking drugs. Drugs are not brought in yet. Don't let them invade. This is the great light.
Daido Roshi, abbot of Zen Mountain Monastery, said,
Not allowing the mind to become dark is called the precept of refraining from using intoxicants.
Physical intoxication is related to ignorance, delusion, and darkness. The poem The Many Wines by the Sufi mystic and poet Rumi differentiates between spiritual and physical intoxication.
God has given us a dark wine so potent that drinking it, we leave the two worlds. God has put into the form of hashish a power to deliver the taster from self-consciousness. God has made sleep so that it erases every thought. God made Majnun love Layla so much that just her dog would cause confusion in him. There are thousands of wines that can take over our minds. Don't think all ecstasies are the same. Jesus was lost in his love for God. His donkey was drunk with barley. Drink from the presence of saints, not from those other jars. Every object, every being is a jar full of delight. Be a connoisseur and taste with caution. Any wine will get you high. Judge like a king and choose the purest, the ones unadulterated with fear or some urgency about what's needed. Drink the wine that moves you, as a camel moves when it's been untied and is just ambling about.
In the Kitab-e-Aqdas, also known as the Most Holy Book, the Baha'i Faith explicitly prohibits the use of intoxicants.
Experience has shown that he who gives himself up to it is completely excluded from the world of humanity. Let us take refuge in God against the perpetration of so shameful a thing, which is the destruction of the foundations of humanity and which causes a perpetual unhappiness. It takes possession of the soul of man, kills the reason, weakens the intelligence, makes a living man dead, and extinguishes the natural heat. It is impossible to imagine anything more pernicious. Happy is he who never mentions the word opium, but what is the fate of those who make use of it?
Several other passages from the Baha'i writings also advocate total abstinence from all alcoholic drinks, opium, and similar habit-forming drugs.
The drinking of wine is forbidden, for it is the cause of chronic disease, weakens the nerves, and consumes the mind. Verily, it hath been forbidden unto every believer, whether man or woman. Its use causes the disintegration of thought and the complete torpor of the soul. alcohol consumes the mind and causes man to commit acts of absurdity, but this wicked hashish extinguishes the mind, freezes the spirit, petrifies the soul, wastes the body, and leaves man frustrated and lost.
In describing the wide-reaching consequences of dealing with the illicit drug opium, Abdu'l-Baha, the eldest son of Baha'u'llah, said,
"The user, the buyer, and the seller are all deprived of the bounty and grace of God."
The Baha'i writings also affirm that true blissfulness arises from spiritual practice. It will never be attained through the use of drugs.
Concerning the so-called spiritual virtues of the hallucinogens, spiritual stimulation should come from turning one's heart to Baha'u'llah and not through physical means such as drugs and agents.
In recognition of the International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking, we will share excerpts from religious scriptures that highlight the harmfulness of intoxicants, both to ourselves and our loved ones. The Christian Holy Bible warns against intoxication, saying that we should stay sober and avoid intentional harm to ourselves. The book of Corinthians speaks of the potentially overpowering temptation of intoxicants. However, if we appeal to the power of the divine, we can overcome these temptations.
No temptation has overtaken you, except what is common to mankind. And God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. But when you are tempted, He will also provide a way out, so that you can endure it.
Alcohol is also considered an intoxicating drug and should be avoided, as stated in the Holy Bible.
Wine is a mocker, and beer a brawler. Whoever is led astray by them is not wise.
Do not get drunk on wine, which leads to debauchery. Instead, be filled with the Spirit.
Likewise, teach the older women to be reverent in the way they live, not to be slanderers or addicted to much wine, but to teach what is good.
Be alert and of sober mind. Your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour.
Be not among drunkards or among gluttonous eaters of meat, for the drunkard and the glutton will come to poverty, and slumber will clothe them with rags.
Illicit drug use is known to be harmful to our health, with even fatal consequences. Biblical scriptures clearly state that our body is a spiritual vessel. We should care for it, not bring it harm.
Do you not know that you yourselves are God's temple, and that God's Spirit dwells in your midst? If anyone destroys God's temple, God will destroy that person. For God's temple is sacred, and you together are that temple.
Verses from the ancient Hindu scripture, Rig Veda, such as those found in the Gayatri Mantra and the Mrityunjaya, convey a clear message that intoxicants are a main source of sinfulness and potential destruction.
One becomes sinful if he or she crosses even one of the 7 restraints. Yaskacharya defines these 7 sins in his Nirukta as theft, adultery, murder, jealousy, dishonesty, repeating misdeeds, and consumption of alcohol.
Those who consume intoxicants lose their intellect, talk rubbish, and fight with each other.
An action performed as per the inner voice does not lead to sins. Dumb arrogance against the inner voice, however, is a source of frustration and miseries in the same manner as intoxication and gambling destroy us. Ishwar inspires those with noble elevated thoughts towards progress and propels down those who decide to think lowly. Lowly acts performed even in dreams cause decline.
Weak minds are attracted towards meat, alcohol, sensuality, and womanizing. But O non-violent mind, you focus your mind towards the world in the same manner as a mother cares for her child.
The great Islamic scripture, Quran, reflects Allah's teachings that intoxicants are detrimental to our relationships with family and community. Like a spiritual poison, intoxicants can even sever our connection with the divine. Thus, the Quran refers to intoxicants as temptations from Satan and warns of their adverse impact to humans.
O believers, intoxicants, gambling, idols, and drawing lots for decisions are all evil of Satan's handiwork. So shun them so you may be successful.
Satan's plan is to stir up hostility and hatred between you with intoxicants and gambling, and to prevent you from remembering Allah and praying. Will you not then abstain?
In the faith of Sikhism, alcohol is considered an intoxicant. Thus, consuming it is not allowed since it blurs one's mind, as stated in the holy book, Sri Guru Granth Sahib.
One person brings a full bottle and another fills his cup. Drinking the wine, his intelligence departs, and madness enters his mind. He cannot distinguish between his own and others, and he is struck down by his Lord and Master. Drinking it, he forgets his Lord and Master, and he is punished in the court of the Lord. Do not drink the false wine at all, if it is in your power. O Nanak, the true Guru comes and meets the mortal. By his grace, one obtains the true wine. He shall dwell forever in the love of the Lord Master, and obtain a seat in the mansion of his presence.
Delightful viewers, it's been a pleasure to have your company on today's Words of Wisdom. Coming up next is The Real Love, a musical that unites hearts, part 10 of a multi-part series, right after noteworthy news. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television for more positive programs. May your spiritual journey be filled with the joy of God's love.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/WOW.
Vegan leader, real peace giver.